have some fun.
Bet I am.
I'm ready
All right, we're
for
all
fun.
All right, here we go.
Live across Australia. This is Ben, Liam and Belle's
Late Drive on Nova.
I want to talk about married foreplay. Okay. How do you know when they're keen? Because Ben and Belle, at the start of a relationship, it's all, it's very, very sexy and spontaneous, as we know. But once you're married, it's different. It's no frill. It's, it's a matter of fact. And I mean more for people that have been married for years and years. I'm sure the frills just don't exist.
It's like watching the same movie again and again.
Yeah. Well,
If the movie's showing.
that's true. That's
not
true.
even be on.
Sometimes, the cinema's
been
not
months.
it's not working. We don't have a DVD player anymore. But my parents' friends have been married for 40 odd years. My mum told me this. I found this very funny. She said that she always knows when her husband's keen because he'll walk in and say, "Val, have you had a shower?"
Oh, what?
And if she says no, he'll say, "Do you want to have a shower?" Which seems such 30 to 40 years. I can imagine there's a lot of people like, yes, not familiar. I mean, Ben, you're rather new in your marriage. It's only been a
Couple of years
couple
now.
of years. Yeah, is there? I mean, does that ring true?
Well, yeah, because you've got a newborn now, so
Yeah.
things have changed.
So for me, it would be whenever Sam has changed the bedding.
What? Hang on.
If I come home and there's some sheets in the washing machine and then the bedding's been changed, that's a big sign.
Isn't it the other way
Yeah.
around?
No, because I think she likes the feeling of fresh sheets.
And then immediately making them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah. I feel like if there's fresh sheets, you go, oh, no, you just want to slip in and go straight to sleep. You
Yeah.
don't want to ruin the sheets.
You'd be clicking your heels if you come home. There's fresh sheets on.
Yeah.
For sure.
Liam, you're newly married as of this year.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess last year, December.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I mean, I suppose this is more if I was to initiate. It would just be, should I put the dog away? He's fine here. Okay, he's fine here. He's very cute. We'll just leave him.
You sure?
I can put him away.
I've already put him away.
I'll give him to the neighbours for a few days. Bella in Melbourne, you're married. Tell us how you know they're keen.
I know that they're keen when Carlton wins.
Oh, seriously? Okay. So obviously, there was a bit of a dip off in your relationship halfway through last year, and then really coming up to September, my God, it must have been exhausting.
That is a good one, Bella. Thank you very much. You're in the draw for Nova's first class N50K just by getting on air. Sarah, joins us now in Perth. You know they're in the mood when?
I have a bit of a backstory. My son has a 13-year-old son, and we were talking about animals and not knowing what he's asking. He asked us what our mating call is, and we're cracking it laughing, and then my partner goes, Sarah, Sarah. So now every time he's in the mood, he just makes that bird call.
That's funny.
She wins. And that works?
It works.
It works.
Back
All
to
right. There you go.
nature.
It's a mating call. There you
All
go.
right, you're also in the draw for Nova's first class N50K. You can be too if you give us a buzz on 13 24 10. We want to know married foreplay.
Yeah, when do you know that they're keen? Karen in Dalesford, you've been married for 30 long years. Wow.
Yep, 30 of them. And they're good years, I must admit.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. But I'm, of
Still not
course,
complaining.
things have changed over the years. And what is it now?
Well, my husband actually he did start it probably after we were married 10 years. And what he does is, if he wants it, he tends to cook a dinner before I get home. And he will always have the dinner there, plus a glass of wine. So he's definitely, let's say he's definitely buttering me up.
Yeah.
And it's working.
Yeah. I mean,
Karen, that means that he would never do that for you just because he wants to. It has to be a transaction where he gets something out of it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. I'm happy that you love it,
but I
Karen.
mean, I'm sure if you're getting a few dinners a week out of it, happy days. It's like, everyone's happy.
Karen, you're in the draw for Nova's first class N50K. Thank you very much. Aaron in Brisbane, 13 years together. You got 2 kids. What is your marriage foreplay?
Man, so bit of a story. The our bedroom door, we have to jimmy a plank of wood underneath the door handle so the kids can't get in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I know she's in the mood when she tells me to lock the door.
Bring out the plank of wood, Aaron. It's time to go.
Aaron,
one?
have you got the wood inside, mate?
We've got to board this one up. Got to get the hammer and nails out. Let's do this thing.
Abby in Sydney, 14 years together. You know they're in the mood when?
Yeah, my partner's really into routines, and so I know he's in the mood when he doesn't put his retainer in before he goes to bed.
Well, Liam can relate to that. You had a retainer like last year.
We both have retainers that we wear each night. So when they're coming out, you know it's time. Oh, Ben and Belle, did you catch Spotify? It's gone up $3.
A month?
Yeah, going up like another $3. So it's steep.
It's already expensive.
I did, yeah. I got that email. Yeah. And it was like, hey, just letting you know.
And sometimes when they go like, we're going up 20 cents or whatever, you're like, yeah, but if you take away like 20 cents from like most of the people in the world, like that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But $3, I mean, come on.
It's like $36 a year.
A year.
It's not like they're paying the artists,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But,
Allegedly.
Is that legit?
well, if you want to protect them, I mean, they're the ones coming for us. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
it's a dog-eat-dog world here.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah,
and-
radio pays the artists.
Yeah, absolutely. The
APRA.
APRA fees.
There we go.
We pay APRA fees.
But I suppose that, I mean, you can, like, to be fair to Spotify and the streaming services, you can also get it for free. It's just got ads in it.
Mm.
And I think radio is starting to realise that's where we're falling behind on the wayside, sort of, because we are free. It's free to listen.
Yep.
But there, you know, there is some ads, of course.
Yep.
And I think Nova's realised, look, Spotify has Spotify Premium where people
Yep.
pay and there's no more ads.
Yep.
So that's why we've come up with this new concept here at Nova Premium. So it's this new thing, and on the Nova Play, you can basically subscribe and you pay like a small fee every month, and then there's no ads. It's just all music and just, you know, all the presenters you know and love.
Yep.
So where there would usually be ads,
Yep.
it's just the microphones are just live in the studio, and you're just hearing what we're getting up to behind the scenes. So it's very revolutionary, and it's really actually very exciting. It's the first time we've been able to talk about it on Late Drive. It's been in the pipeline for a long time. But we understand radio has been free since the dawn of time, really, or since the dawn of radio. And Nova have decided for the next 10 minutes, they're just going to, for a bit of a teaser, they're just going to do free Nova Premium for everyone. So there's like, if you just keep listening to the next little bit, there's going to be no ads, and our mics will just be on the whole time. Yep. So, and if you like the sound of it, by all means, subscribe.
Live across Australia. This is Late Drive with Ben, Liam and Belle.
On Nova.
Mic's off.
All right, Liam, what's up next?
I just got
Liam?
back from getting my hair cut. This is what I was going
Are you
for.
watching
This is
TikToks
my hair
again?
2 months ago,
Liam.
and this is
What?
You never listen.
What?
What are we doing next?
The Ricky Martin thing. Ricky Martin got a boner on stage.
Oh, God.
We'll just do like, did you crack a chub or something, 13, 24, 10.
Can we do that?
I think we can do that. Bad time to bar up or something like that. You know what I mean? Something,
Yeah.
I like it.
What TikTok was that?
That one? Oh, there was...
Is it the one where the guy gets his hair cut and he starts dancing?
Yeah, you seen that? He's like... It's like, bro, I told bro I'd give him a cut for free if he... Oh, man, I love
We
that.
should do 13, 24, 10. What's your favourite TikTok right now?
I actually
not
like
doing
that. That
No.
actually could be good. That's not bad.
Ben.
That wasn't me. That was me.
Yeah, first one was mine. Sorry about that. We both had a rich lunch.
I hate being in this room with you.
Guys, remember, people can hear you. It's radio premium, no ads.
Hey, Tina, why don't you shut the hell up? All right? You're a producer, okay? You don't talk to us. We're on air and you produce. So you just worry about that and we'll worry about what's going on in here.
Yeah, Tina, shut up.
Yeah, learn your place, Tina.
Hate you guys, and I hate working here.
Oh, whatever, Tina. Just quit if you want. I mean, we're all going to lose our jobs soon anyway. Spotify's killing the radio industry.
I'm so depressed.
Join the club, sweetheart.
Mic's on.
Live across Australia. This is Late Drive with Ben, Liam and Belle.
On Nova.
Yes, good evening, Australia. How good is it to be here? We love life and we love Nova.
Absolutely. Hey, Ben and Belle, up next, you're never going to guess what's happened to Ricky Martin.
Ooh, can't wait.
Yeah, I'll let you know right after 7. Well, I don't know if you caught this online, but over the weekend in Miami at Madonna's celebration tour, Ricky Martin was on stage and he was living la vida bona. Yeah, eagle-eyed fans noticed.
Oh, you didn't have to be eagle-eyed.
Yes.
Well, it is there for all to see. It's online. You could, don't take our word for it.
You can hang your hat off that.
He bangs. But, yeah, he's obviously, I don't know, he's just, adrenaline's flowing and...
Well, he's on stage, and if you see the footage, there's guys like dancing up on him, and you know, it's getting heated, and yeah.
And then it's very clear that there's something going on. Someone actually passes him a hat at some point, and he's sort of holding the hat over his
I thought
crotch.
a couple of times I saw him go for the tuck under the belt move, but I think he was he was unsuccessful in pulling it off.
Yeah, he tried it like 3 times.
Yeah.
Does that do guys do that?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't that hurt?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, Ricky's it's got and it happens. It's nothing to be embarrassed. Well, it is kind of embarrassing, I suppose, but especially in front of that many people, in front of the world.
Yeah.
But tonight, what I would like to do is for a very special first time, possibly last time, last time, I think it would be a bit of fun to do 13, 24, 10, bad place to bar up. Has nature called at the wrong time?
Sometimes I do find myself a little bit deja vu-y in radio where you feel like we've done that before. Never done this before.
Never
done that.
Never. So you can remain anonymous.
Yep.
But 13, 24, 10, if you've barred up in a bad...
Can't believe we're doing this.
Yeah, it is a bit ridiculous.
Is there better wording we can use? Like,
No, go on. What were you going to say?
Where'd you get a stiffy?
I think yours was worse.
You think where did you bar up is better than where'd you get a stiffy?
No, bad place to bar up because it's like alliteration, sort of like forgivable.
Right.
I think maybe no, I'm not taking part in this.
I would like to hear a third option.
Just like, did you get one at a bad time?
Are we accepting semi-chub? Or?
Okay, Liam, don't push. Don't.
Well, that's up to them to decide. That's up to them to decide.
Yeah, all right. Well, you just
Well, okay. You go first.
I've got great control.
No, you don't.
13 24 10 is our number. Give us a buzz. Did you bar up at a bad time?
This is ridiculous. I'm so sorry.
13 24 10. That's our number.
Brandon in Brisbane. Where'd you bar up?
I was in a job interview.
Whoa.
Okay. Did you get the job?
Let's say the questions were a bit too hard. I did not.
Not the
Is
only
this what
thing.
it's going to be like for the next 5 minutes?
How weird if you're like, how'd the interview go? Oh, I didn't get the job. And, yeah, well, that wasn't the worst thing that happened. Jamie in Melbourne, tell us. Where?
Guys, at my cousin's wedding.
Oh, no.
Were you at least in the seated row? Were you being a family member? Were you close?
No, it was awkwardly timed. Literally, they pointed to me during the best man speech and said, you're great as a cousin and, some funny stories, and then got me to stand up. Tried to kind of cover myself, but, no.
Is that a thing? Because, like, if you have the male anatomy, is that just, like, because blood rushes through? Like if you have adrenaline, like... maybe it doesn't just not funnel there.
Yeah. I mean, there must have been I'm just trying to think of what was said in that speech that got Jamie so excited.
Yeah, or maybe it was just the catering. Because I went to a wedding on the weekend.
Really good.
Gee whiz. The beef that they just, I don't know how they did it, but it was just...
Barred up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad it was a seated wedding. I'm glad it wasn't a cocktail.
Emily joins us now. Emily?
Emily?
Did you bar up at a bad time?
I personally haven't barred up,
Right,
but
okay.
my son's father did. We were play fighting in the kitchen at his mum's house, and I went to join the mother and the kids in the family room,
Yeah.
but the family room is down a couple of steps.
Right.
And he thought it obviously went away, and he came into the door frame, and it was eye level with his mum. I was mortified.
Oh, Lord. I love how sometimes mums will say, like, oh, I've seen it all. You know, I changed your diapers.
Yeah. You didn't
I haven't
see
seen that.
You didn't see that. You
I
don't want to see
know.
that. God damn.
Eye level.
Also, I love is the play fighting was just like close enough to the. He was like, here we go. Something in him just, wow.
Thank you, Emily.
Thanks, Emily.
Went to the old Melbourne Gaol the other day, Ben and Belle. Yeah. In-laws were in town. Thought they'd enjoy it. Pretty cool. Ned Kelly's armour's in there.
Is it?
Yeah, I've never been like a big Ned Kelly. You know, some people have tattoos and they've got the stickers on the
Mm.
car and that sort of thing. I'm pretty sure he was hung there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, lots of people were. That's just how it was back in those days.
Yep.
And they also used to experiment on the prisoners like after they'd passed away. So they weirdly have like a lot. If you go there and you go into all the different cells, they have like molds of like plasticine molds of the people's faces that were like in
wow.
the cells. It's kind of it's a bit morbid, but like
Oh,
they would do.
it's very
'cause-
personal.
yeah. Well, they were criminals, so you know.
Yeah. it's just-
But I mean, you know about it, like, you know, back in the day, they're probably mistrialed and stuff like that.
yeah,
So.
you
Yeah,
know, they
and it
stole a
might have
loaf
been-
of bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God forbid.
I think these guys were mostly murderers.
Okay.
I was reading that.
Okay.
I was reading a lot of murder.
Mhm.
A lot of gruesome murder.
Mhm.
So probably deserve to have a plasticine head in the thing. People pay money to come and look at you.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
But so there was this one room and it sort of like went into like a lot of the experiments that would happen. And I suppose like, I know it seems a bit weird, but I suppose that's how we probably, you know, modern sciences develop and that's how we would find out over the years about anatomy and how the brain works and all of that.
So you want to see more of that in this day and age?
Not saying that. Not saying that.
You want
No,
more
you can
capital
donate-
punishment?
No, you can donate your body to
for
science.
murderers?
Yeah, well, that's it. You can donate your body to
Hang
science.
on.
Liam wants more capital punishment for murderers, and he wants more experimentation
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm
on
saying.
prisoners.
But when I was there, I was there with my wife, and they had this big diagram of, and it was like human brain, and it was broken up into say 50 emotions. It's like where they believed
Oh, yeah.
each emotion was, and
Mm.
you know, so it's like, oh, well, this little circle of the brain, that's where your anger comes from, and this
Mhm.
is, you know, your fear and your taste and your
Mhm.
love and your happiness and whatever.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you know this about my wife. You probably don't, unless you've like patted her head. You wouldn't notice because she's got long hair, but she does have a bit of flat spot going on in the back of the head there.
Oh,
Quite,
really?
Quite flat. It's pretty flat. You could probably rest a dinner plate on the top. of it.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And we sort of joke about it.
Mhm.
But I said to her, well, let's see how accurate this thing is. Let's see what you're missing.
Mm.
Because there's a whole part of her head like that's just missing, sort of at the very top of the back. And I looked on the chart and I was like, where is it? Self-esteem is when you're brutal. I was like, oh, I must be missing that bit too.
Oh.
How long did you have to work for the perk? Okay, 13, 24, 10. If you get on air, you go on the draw for Nova's first class and 50K.
What do you get for 10 years? Get like a watch or something? Or
I think you get like a bit of time off.
do you? Anyway, really.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yes, we're lucky.
Imagine if after doing 10 years of on-air broadcasting at Nova, you got to program the entire days of music. That'd be awesome. Like you got every song that played was
I
something
would
that you
be
got to
playing
choose.
like DMX and like
yeah.
It's gonna give it
Yeah,
to what?
yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
wild, like Slipknot and stuff.
So the reason I ask is because I caught up with a mate on the weekend and I hadn't seen them in a while, and so you're doing a lot of catching up. And I said, "Is your brother still working at the cinema?" And he said, "Oh yeah, mate, he'll never leave there. He'll never leave the cinema." And I said, "Why not?" And he said, "This is true," and he said because when he gets to the 20th year of service, he gets free movies for life.
No way.
So he gets to walk into the cinema and watch any movie whenever he wants to watch
That's
it.
sick.
Just come in, flash a card
Yeah.
around, I'd imagine.
Yep.
And then just sit in and watch any movie.
Yep.
Hey,
But I believe, and this is the part that I found funny, I believe it has to be at that specific cinema.
Right.
So
Okay.
if that closes down.
Okay.
fair.
So it's not like a chain thing. So
I
just-
thought it was
just-
a chain
So
thing.
it's just
but
like all the Hoyts or whatever.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
like that
it's
specific,
specifically
like,
that
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
So if that ever goes under, you can work it
you
out
lose.
on.
Yeah, you have to do another 20 years
Yeah.
at another
Yeah.
establishment before
Do
you
you
can.
know like how close is he?
I believe they're about halfway through their tenure.
It'd be enough to keep me going, I think. Just
Yeah.
purely because,
then.
yeah, but like movies get more expensive,
Yeah.
like just with inflation and stuff. So that's
Yeah.
going to be, you think in 10, 15
Are we gonna
years.
have
Yeah.
him in 10
I would
years?
hope so. I mean, movies are always
I
coming
hope
out.
for that guy's sake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't
There
want to
will
work that hard for the perk and then you lose the perk.
13, 24, 10. How long did you have to work for the perk? Give us a buzz. Tom has done just that in Melbourne. How long did you have to work for the perk, Tom?
Hey guys, so I am a flight attendant. So we had to initially wait 6 months to access staff travel when I started. But then the real perk is if you work 5 years, after that 5 years, if you quit, you get staff travel for however long you did your service for. So if you quit after 5, you get 5. But if you work for 20, you get 20.
Hang on, as in unlimited free flights?
No, not free.
You
but
get the
very
staff
heavily
discount.
discounted.
That's
Correct.
pretty good.
And so, because isn't it like you can get on emergency lists and that sort of stuff as well, which is like next to nothing really.
It's basically standby, but you know it's the Russian roulette and fun of staff travel. But yeah, very cheap flights and access to business class and things like that. So it's a pretty good deal.
You're getting into lounges and things as well?
No, unfortunately the pilots do, but the flight attendants do not.
Oh, so did the pilots get access to the lounge because they're a pilot? Is that how that works?
Correct.
Feels
yes,
like a bit of a
it's
slap in the
double
face.
standard.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. They're flying the thing.
what are you trying to
but
say?
the
Well, Tom's having to walk around in people's farts and handing things out and dealing with
Do
people's
you
crap.
want to try and land a plane?
Yeah, I know. But
So, Belle, hang on. So, Belle, you're saying that pilots are more important than flight
this is a
attendants?
good one. Tom, you hearing this?
I am hearing this. And who's going to evacuate you in an emergency?
Yeah, that's right, sister. Who's going to put the blow-up bloody thing out? I mean, people, if they're willing and able in the emergency rows, for starters, Tom, I listen to the things. I respect you
Yeah,
guys.
but the pilot's trying to keep the plane in the air.
Belle Jackson at Nova Entertainment if you want to
Yeah.
email your complaints.
Well, if she had her way, there would be no such thing as flight attendants. It would just be pilots and Belle.
Who would you rather be?
I'm sorry, Tom.
You are just... Tom, are you still going to listen to this show? Honestly, if I were you, I probably wouldn't.
Tom, to be honest,
I'm tuning out after this.
Yeah, dude, that's so
I thought
funny.
my fellow
I
vegan
wanted-
Belle, you'd had my back. But obviously not.
I wanted to be a flight attendant for a very long time, and now I have a fear of flying. So I think
Oh, now you want to be one? Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
now
I've always respected him a lot. So yeah, actually, nearly did the course myself.
Tune in tomorrow for Belle's on-air public apology to flight attendants.
Yes. Bad day to be Ned Brockman. Tell you what, his legacy's just been blasted into smithereens. Obviously, Ned Brockman, great guy, around Australia, raised a lot of money for charity. But this
Did Ned go from Perth to Sydney?
Yep,
Correct.
Yep.
Yep.
Ended up in Bondi and had picked up a hell of a lot of steam and
Yeah.
hype by that point and raised like 1.85 million charity, which is great. But yeah, it all means nothing today because Russ Cook, the hardest geezer he's been called, has become the first person to run the entire length of the continent of Africa.
Day 337 of running the entire length of Africa. Mate, getting hit with another sandstorm this morning, sucking oxygen, chewing sand for breakfast. They're trying to get me gone, but they just can't. I'm too damn ferocious, boys and girls. 2 weeks to go. See you in Tunisia.
I mean, that's incredible.
is that Russell Brand?
It sounds like Russell Brand, doesn't it?
It does sound like Russell Brand, yeah.
So-
imagine if Russell Brand, because of all the stuff going on, he's just rebranded into this guy running across
I'll
Africa.
now run across Africa.
How long did it take him?
It took him 352 days, so just under a year.
How many Ks?
16,000 Ks.
So how many a day?
Is that impressive? It's a lot of days.
I mean,
it's a lot of days.
it's
That's like a year.
I mean, Ned Brockman's...
Yeah, like you could
Yeah,
walk,
I know. but
Couldn't you
like-
walk in a year?
No, you couldn't. Not at all. He was doing over a marathon a day.
Well, Ned did 2.5 marathons a day. Did 100 Ks a day.
80K a day on average. I looked into it.
It's still more impressive though. I feel like because Ned
'cause,
went harder for a shorter period of
Ned
time.
did 4,000 Ks. This bloke's just done 16,000.
Yeah,
Ks.
over a year.
Yeah, but it's still. You reckon
A
you
lot
get
of
up
rest
every
hours
day?
Yeah, you run
Dude,
a marathon.
are you kidding me?
If
You
you run your
reckon-
marathon in 6 hours, you've still got a lot of time to rest.
Mate.
You got 18 hours.
Yeah, but like that's over a marathon a day.
Yeah, he was obviously training for that.
Yeah, but this dude was squiggling. Like Ned just went straight across. And I mean, I know it's a vast country.
Yeah.
But he just cut straight across. This guy squiggled. He started at the most southern point of Africa in this small village that I've never heard of. And then he ran up the entire west coast. So he was squiggling through South Africa, Namibia, like Angola. He's squiggled through Liberia there, Senegal, and he ended up in Tunisia, like basically near like Italy and Spain, the very top of Africa.
I just think if you told me he ran Africa in a couple of months, I'd be with you.
You're
saying that
going
that's
more
not-
Ks per day.
If you told me he ran the world in a year, I'd be like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but
he ran Africa in a year.
Ned went hard, yeah, but after a month and a half, he's putting his feet up. And yeah, he got maggots in his feet and stuff, but he's putting them up. This dude spent, like, think of every day that you did stuff last year, like talked on the radio, whatever, slept, sat on your ass.
Yeah.
He's running through, like, Liberia and, like, desert. He got held up at gunpoint at one stage. Yeah, it was dangerous. Like, he was going through some interesting spots.
So you're saying, to impress Ben, someone needs to run the world in a year.
That's me. Like, because to me, if you go the world a year, that computes in my brain.
Do you know, Liam, what Ben said to me before the show started? He said,
No.
went for a run today. And I said,
Did you do
yeah.
45K? That's what Russ Cook would have done today, and
he did-
yesterday, and the day before.
He did the block. He said, I ran a block,
I
couldn't
did.
breathe.
I did 1.2 Ks.
And he said he had chest pains and he couldn't breathe.
Pain.
I had
And
chest
just
pain.
remind me, do you live in the Liberian desert, or were you just going around the block?
It was just a suburban block.
Just
yeah.
in Melbourne, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How does your partner eat? How does your partner eat? Now, I feel like this might be more up the girls' alley because guys tend to eat more loudly and ferociously and quickly. My new partner is a fitness coach. He's always going on about like food and protein and grams of this and that and how much he should be eating. And he expels a lot of energy in his job and every day. So he's always like, he's just eating constantly. And he eats like he hasn't eaten in a week every time. Whether it's been an hour or 2 hours or 5 minutes, it's like he's a vacuum. It's like he gets the food and just puts the whole thing in his mouth. I don't know how he does it. And sometimes he picks it up, like if it's like food that you eat with your hands and your fingers, he'll pick it up with his whole hand and then just put his whole hand with the food in his mouth. And it's like it goes all the way in. And sometimes I just sit there and I just watch. And we went to dinner with a few friends and I had to say, I'm so sorry. I apologize for how he's eating because he looks like a caveman because he just picks it up and just shoves the whole
So
thing
he'll
in.
go like 2 knuckles deep into his own mouth.
Yeah, it's like full on.
Wow.
It's like he's putting it as far in as he can.
I'd love you to say, babe, you got to try some of this. Puts the knuckles in your mouth as well.
Wild. And like in my head, I'm like, we just had lunch a few hours ago, but it looks like he's starving and he's been rescued and he's just shoving it everything.
Is he one of those people
possibly
that
can.
eat so fast they look like they're going to choke on it a little bit?
He never does that. I think he's so good at it. It just goes in. It just goes in.
Can
and
you
out.
give us a bit of an impression? Give us a bit of. What does it sound like?
Oh, what it sounds like? Oh my gosh! So he'll go, and then he'll go, and literally like 3 chews, like, and then it's gone. And you're like, where?
Oh,
did it
so he's
go?
actually inhaling
Yes,
as he's eating.
It's
Like a duck.
wild. And like sometimes I'll be talking to him and he'll be eating while he's listening, and suddenly it's all gone, and I'm like, I don't even. Where did that disappear to?
I don't make a noise, I don't think, when I eat, but my wife, Sam...
You don't, but I will say yesterday, that Vietnamese roll, I did have to put my headphones on. It was getting just
very loud.
It was just so close to me, but I get with a thick, crunchy pork belly sort of,
Because, so when I eat my dinner, my wife, Sam, always tells me to relax because when I'm hungry... and I get home and there's a plate of food in front of me, I'll hunch over it, like I'm protecting it like a dog, like a rabid dog.
Yeah.
And I'll hunch over. I don't realize I'm doing it until she says it, but I'll hunch over and my right hand will be protecting it from the right side.
Yeah.
And my left hand is always in a tight,
It's like hunter-gatherer stuff.
clenched fist,
But
as if
you
I'm
just-
going to punch the next person that comes near my
I
food.
think I've seen
And then
you do that.
As I eat my food and I eat more and more and I get full, my hand unclenches.
Mine's a lot less aggressive than that.
Yeah.
But Sarah, my wife, she always like she says it gives her the ick when I get excited for food. She's like, just calm down, right? Like especially if we've ordered something nice, I'll do this. I rub my hands together like that.
Oh, yes.
And I start I almost start doing like a little dance. And she's like, oh, can you just, this is gross. Can you just chill out a little bit? And I'm just like, I'm going to nail that curry. I'm going to nail that.
You're like a puppy.
Yeah. I start wagging. I start wagging a bit.
I've seen you rub your hands together for food now you mention
For a
that.
good dish. Yeah.
We've got Caveman Ben and Puppy Liam.
I have an update on our favourite movie merch.
Oh, the Dune 2 bucket. Oh, yeah. If you've not seen it, movie of the year, I've been claiming it. But, yeah, the Dune 2 popcorn bucket, because there's giant sandworms in the film, and it is a big sandworm. So,
and the sandworm, I thought you need to describe it. It's got like, it's like a catfish mouth.
Yeah, it's like lots of tooth, like lots of teeth.
It's a hole that you stick your hand in, and the hole is little tentacles.
It's a tight rubber hole.
It's a tight rubber hole.
Yeah. And
they got very, very popular, arguably for the wrong reasons.
So people weren't using them for popcorn.
Yeah, so they'd go to the movies and say, give me a Dune 2 popcorn bucket, hold the popcorn, extra butter.
Yeah, and a ticket to Madam Web. And it was just getting a bit ridiculous. And so, but what's the update?
Well, the creator who designed it has now come out, and she said if she knew how they were going to be used,
get off it.
She would have never designed them that way.
No, but you said, I think like last week, I think Liam, you said, do you think they designed it with that in mind?
I think
Answer,
they did
no.
it as a meme thing, knowing if we make a popcorn bucket that looks like this, it'll catch fire on the internet and everyone will be like, oh my God, that's wild. Like, have you seen that? What I will say, though, if you've seen the films, it's a very accurate representation of Shah Hulud, the sandworm.
Yes. I'm very keen now, looking ahead into the future, I'm keen for the Dune 3 merch.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's 2 Shah Huluds.
Yes, you share with friends.
Three.
You share with friends, and there's 2 sandworms.
Bring the boys over. Have some popcorn. Boys want to come around? Last week, I had a romantic night away with my wife, Sarah, Ben and Belle, for our 7-year anniversary. And we were just sort of staying away at this nice, like, resorty sort of place. And you have dinner, like, at the hotel. And it was like a nice digger station type job. And so we're sitting there, and we're sort of like halfway through the meal. And then Sarah's a bit cold, so she's like, I'm just going to go back to the room to get my jacket. I was like, yeah, that's fine. And it was like sort of walking distance. It was all like in the same structure. So she went back, and when she got there, she opened the door, and there were some hotel workers like in the room. And she sort of startled them because I think they were like, well, like they knew we were at dinner because they're the staff there would have told them. So then they're like in the room doing something. And
that would have been the turn down service.
Turn down service for a fancy.
What is that?
Fancy
It's
hotel.
when they put so it's like you're out of your room and they know you're out of your room. So then that's when they sneak in and they unmake the bed, so they like make it nice to get into.
Put a little chocolate
on there. Yeah, that's
What?
It's called the turn down service.
Hang on, I thought that happens when they clean it, like, in the morning.
No,
that's when they just make your room up. Yeah. Well, you never been to a hotel with a turn down?
You've been going to gross hotels, but
yuck.
What did you call it? A turn down?
It's called turn down.
Sorry,
Yes,
okay,
everyone knows
yeah.
turn
down for what? It's like it's for special occasions.
Yeah,
where it's like
I've probably been to 2, maybe 3 hotels in my life where they've done turn down.
But
service.
Nice.
Sarah was like, oh. So she sort of saw them and she was like, oh, it must be something, because they were setting something up on the bed. So she sort of come back to the table and she was a bit excited. She said, so obviously they know it's our anniversary.
Yep.
So she said there's a bit of a treat in the room. I caught them. It was really awkward. They were setting. And I was like, oh my God, how cool. Like an anniversary cake or something like that. Because this was a ritzy, you know what I mean? So you'd think they'd give you something. And so we're just eating them. And she was saying, just don't fill up, all right? Because there's a treat back in the room. So just like, and I was like, I was really enjoying the food. Like, it was nice. And she was like, let's just not, you don't need to eat all of that, okay? Because there's a treat coming. And I was sort of like, okay, but like, I really, it's kind of expensive. I feel like I'm just like, you sure you're not going to eat yours? Because I'm sort of like still hungry over here. And then anyway, so they came around at the end. They said, oh, did you want some desserts? And she said, no. No, we don't need any dessert. We don't need any dessert. Put her hand up, and I was thinking I would really like some dessert, but it is true there. I've been promised a treat.
You're using the word treat.
Yeah.
So
No,
like
that's what
you're
she
a
said, though.
4-year-old.
Yeah, but she said there is a treat in the room, and it kind of takes you back to when you are 4 as well. Like, honestly, walking back to the room, I felt like a kid on Christmas. I was like, oh my God, like, what's this surprise going to be? Like, I was so excited. I was like, ooh, what's it going to be? Like, I was thinking maybe like a bottle of bubbles, and maybe they've put some like rose petals, maybe, and like a creme brulee or a mousse, or I don't know.
Wow.
This is what I was thinking.
Wow.
Anyway, so we're like, here we go, and like opened the door, and they just laid the bill on the mattress. It was just like so I came back with an empty stomach and an empty bank account. That was it. No treat. I was lied to. I didn't even get to finish the curry.
Get the man his mousse.
Ridiculous.
How did you catch the cheater? If you've been cheated on, or if you know someone that caught their partner cheating, 13 24 10. If you give us a buzz and you get on air, you'll be in the draw for Nova's first class and 50K.
You can also remain anonymous if you don't want to give us your name.
Of course. We love a good anonymous caller here. So there's a guy that's releasing a book, and get this, it's a book on how to cheat and not get caught.
I would say if you had that book, that would be pretty bad. Do you know what I mean? Like
sign number 1.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
How do you know if your husband's cheating? If he's bought this book that Belle's talking about. If you're doing some light reading in bed next to each other, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, I'm doing normal people. What about you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's how to get away with cheating.
That would be a great video if you were gutsy enough to record secretly in the bedroom on your partner if they were reading, and then you got that book out.
It's literally called like How to Be Unfaithful and Get Away with It.
I think
it's available on Amazon if you want it.
I think we should actually do that as
We
bit.
should do
My
that,
wife would already think it's weird if I opened a book. She'd just be like, what the heck is going on here?
Well, so in this book, there's also like a list of like, hey, these are the stock standard things that people do when they're cheating that you might not think about that is a clue.
So these could be good warning signs, you know?
Yeah,
if you're listening going, oh, hang on, this is what Trev's been doing the last
But
couple
like,
of weeks.
you know, the usuals where it's like, oh, you know, they have their phone and they put it face down, or they don't let you check. They're like, yeah, whatever. You know, hide your Google Maps history. Yeah, basic. These are the ones that he's saying, like, this is what you don't think about that you need to think about.
Okay.
So if their car is really clean and smells of air freshener, probably cheating.
Or could it just be they've gone to KFC or something and they just sort of, you know, want to like freshen up a little bit?
It's because their lover has been in the car and left the perfume.
I see. Right.
If they've started helping around the house more because it's covering their guilt, probably cheating.
Oh, come on.
Started doing the dishes.
Well, I'll be
Cheating.
sure to keep my jobs at a minimum because I don't want to alarm anyone.
He's very tired and says, oh, it's weird. I must have insomnia. I'm so tired. Probably cheating.
Oh, all right.
Because
Could it not
cheating-
be a big day at work or something like just like
No,
lots of-
cheating.
Okay.
Mentally, like cheating is very mentally straining, apparently. So they're always tired, but just can
So
never catch up. on
If your
sleep.
partner's tired and helping around the house, guaranteed they're cheating.
Yeah.
Probably just divorce them now, I reckon.
Yeah. Sounds like you got yourself a real
Another one,
handful there.
if they're never available at lunchtime.
Hang on, who's available at lunchtime?
Even if you go, hey, let's catch up for lunch, and they go, no, I can't. Cheating.
I've got work.
Yeah.
No, cheating.
Right, okay.
Because that's apparently the prime time to catch up with your lover. And finally, if they're seeing their friends a lot.
God forbid. God forbid they have friends.
Because apparently they'll go, okay, Friday night, I'm just going to hang with the lads. They'll rock up, make the alibi, be there for like 15 minutes, and then go see their partner.
Well, look, who are we to be the judge? I mean, Bianca in Melbourne, you've unfortunately been cheated on. Any of these signs ringing true to you?
I could actually say those signs ring true, but I'd say he was pretty busy in the 3 months that he had an affair. My ex and I owned a tattoo studio overseas, and I had come back to Australia because I was pregnant. And when I returned, I was going through like the Facebook page just on recent bookings and checking everything, and found this beautiful back job. It was a full job of a peacock, and I was like, wow, I love this. Like, who's this customer? And he just kind of acted a little bit weird, and I was like, oh, that's a bit strange. And so the next day when I was like looking back into it and doing some more research because I liked it, I reached out to the lady who was now back in her country of origin and just said, you know, I'm just after some feedback on your recent experience. And she kind of wigged out I guess by me saying I want feedback on your recent experience. And then just one thing led to another, and we started messaging each other, and she was like, look, I didn't know he was with you. And she'd actually been overseas in a 3-month affair with him. And he was also telling her, get me a visa, while I was sorting him out a visa back here in Australia.
And just another detail, you were pregnant when you went back.
I was, 5 months pregnant when I went back to sort out our future. And the worst part of it is I can never get that tattoo. Even though I love it, I can never get that tattoo.
Of course.
Oh, that's a tragic story, but we appreciate you sharing, Bianca.
Instead of a peacock, you should get like a lion. And just prove like courage and that you've trekked on. You got this.
Bianca, you're now in the draw for Nova's first class and 50K. Thank you very much. We're talking catching cheaters, 13 24 10. Gab in Sydney, how'd you catch the cheater?
So basically, I had a bit of a premonition, actually, like a dream during the night that my partner was cheating on me through an Apple Watch, and I woke up and I was in a panic. And I was like, I could see the Apple Watch just sitting on the bed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to go through it, like crazy girl vibe.
Yeah.
So I was just like flicking through that Apple Watch. It's the middle of the night, and it takes a little while to load because if you've deleted content off your iPhone, people automatically think it deletes off the Apple Watch as well, but it doesn't.
Oh.
Fun fact. So you have to delete it twice on the Apple Watch and on the iPhone. But basically, as I've scrolled back up through the messages, all these new messages have loaded, and I've seen like not only one consistent girl, but a whole lot of other girls involved in cheating as well. So he was a busy boy.
So did you wake him up?
Initially, I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've never been in this situation before. And I was like, he doesn't deserve to be sleeping so peacefully right now. So I did wake him up. Well, I started to get changed because I was like, I'm going to leave. And I made enough noise that it stirred him to wake.
Nice.
And then I was like, hell no. Unleash the wrath.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and that's... Gab, I've just got a vision because those screens are so tiny.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine if there's a lot, you'd have to furiously scroll on you dog. Like, it's like so small that your finger would have been so sore.
Oh, Gab.
That's brutal.
It was tense.
Yeah.
It was tense to scroll that long.
Great story. Well told, Gab. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing. We do appreciate it. You're in the draw for Nova's first class and 50K.
Sarah in Brisbane, good evening. Now, your mum was the cheater?
Yeah. So I was like 14 or 15, and it was the first time I was ever left home alone. And, what else would a 14 or 15-year-old do than snoop around the entire house?
I did very different things, actually, when I was left home and I was 14 and 15. I'm not going to lie to you, Sarah. I wasn't doing too much snooping around, I can assure you of that.
Well, so I was having a little look through her room and found her diary.
Yeah.
And she detailed her entire affair in her diary. And and I just felt so, obviously shocked, and I didn't want to be the reason why my whole family broke up. So I just kept it a secret for about 10 years.
Oh my God.
Sarah, was there a part of you that thought maybe this could be like a fantasy sort of 50 Shades of Grey type thing where it wasn't real and Mum was just, writing some sort of erotic fan fiction, or it was real? Was it real?
Yeah, no, I think it was real. Because I knew the person who it was, and the details are a bit more. It felt very real because it was sort of talking about didn't want to disappoint her family.
Sarah, what a burden though, and that is huge that you kept it for a decade. Did you then reveal it? What happened?
Well, my parents actually eventually split up, and I told my dad after they broke up. So,
and how did he take that?
Yeah, he suspected it, so it kind of I think for him it was actually a bit of closure to know that he wasn't crazy.
Can I ask, and you don't have to say if you don't want to, can I ask who the guy was? Because you said that you did know who they were.
Yeah, it was just a family friend. So, yeah. So they weren't friends anymore, luckily. But yeah, no, Dad, he sort of suspected it. So, but yeah, I don't talk to my mum anymore. So
Yeah.
I was gonna ask Sarah if you guys still talk, but
I mean, that is like the most
yeah.
brutal thing I can imagine. Yeah.
To hold on to that from such a young age.
It's such a burden to be like the child that knows that secret. And as you said, then you didn't want to be responsible for tearing up the family. Oh,
I
Sarah.
mean, to write about it in your diary, though. Sorry, but like.
That's what I think. So brave and emotional.
What the hell?
You want to get caught?
Yeah.
Sarah, thank you so much for sharing that personal story. You're now in the draw for Nova's first class and 50K. So, Liam, what were you doing when you were 14 in the house by yourself?
Basketball hoop, man. Just practicing.
Just shooting hoops?
Shooting hoops. Shooting something. Call us up. Worst last names. If you know someone with a shocking last name, or you're brave enough to admit, yeah, I have a terrible last name. Maybe I've even considered changing my last name.
Yep.
Call us. 13 24 10. I was emailing a guy today. Last name Schmiedelmeier.
It sounds made up.
I mean, must you say it with the schmee?
Schmie.
I just saw that and I was like, what a stinker. I'm assuming it's like German, maybe, but
Yeah.
Schmiedelmeier?
Schmiedelmeier. It was SCHMEDLEMIER.
It's like in
Schmiedelmeier.
School of Rock when he's like,
Yeah.
it's Schneeble.
Schneeble.
That's right.
There's definitely a last name that comes to my mind when you say worst last name. And I guess I apologise if you have this last name, but Abercrombie?
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 Abercrombie.
I think I've heard Abercrombie. I don't think
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh, there'd be someone with the last name Abercrombie.
Yeah, I think Abercrombie kind of seems cool. It's like a rich British regal type thing. Abercrombie, not
Applecrombie.
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 Yeah, that sounds like a dessert or something.
It does.
But that's the thing. You might not even really be able to put a sort of name to it. You can't even like put your finger on it, like why it sucks so bad. But it's just like doesn't sound nice.
13 24 10 might be yours, might be somebody else's, as Liam said. But we are looking for worst last names. Kiara joins us in Melbourne.
Cara.
Kiara, tomato.
No, it's not. It's a completely different name. Cara.
Cara, go for it. Worst last name.
I used to work with someone whose surname was Porker. Porker. Would you believe it?
Porker. And Cara was she?
Hey.
Well, then now you're putting Cara on the spot.
Pork is not a becoming last name, no.
No, it's not.
You would have to become a marathon runner or an athlete to justify having a last name.
There's all Porkers in.
Cara, you're in the draw for Nova's first class and 50K. Thank you very much for getting involved. That's a very good one. If you got one for worst last name, 13 24 10. That's our number. Give us a buzz.
Monique in the Gold Coast. Is this your last name?
Yes. So my last name is Siri.
Siri?
Yeah.
Right.
Like the Apple Siri.
And so people are like, hey, Siri, what's the weather? And you're like, ha, 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 ha.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
spelled-
funny the first few times, and now it's my life.
Spelt the same way as well?
What's that?
Is it spelt the same way?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have been a problem for like the first 20 years of your life.
Totally.
Pretty much. Beck in Melbourne. Is this your last name? Someone else's?
No, it's somebody else's.
Okay.
Oh, fun. What do you got?
Cyril is his first name, and Toffwell.
Cyril Top. Well, you full named him. Cyril Top.
Yeah.
You full named him.
Brutal for him if he's listening. That is two bad names
What's
together.
funny about the first name?
Cyril's a funny first name.
I don't find Cyril that funny. Like Cyril.
I find Cyril pretty funny.
Really?
Is it Cyril Tosswell, is it?
Toffwell.
What? How do you say the last name again, sorry?
Toffwell.
Coughlwell.
Toff.
Toffwell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tosswell.
Yeah,
as in
Toffwell.
tossing. Yeah.
Oh, Tosswell. Oh, even better. Oh, yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, okay.
Cyril Tosswell.
Cyril Tosswell.
Am I missing
Belle,
that?
Tosswell. Cyril Tosswell.
Oh.
Took her 5 times to get it.
Adam. In Brisbane. Worst last names. What do you got?
Hey, we used to go to school with someone with the last name Coburn, but it's spelled Cockburn.
Yeah. Which is more common than you think.
Yeah, there's a lot of I can say it because it's a last name, but there's a lot of glasscocks.
A lot of what, sorry?
There is.
A lot of what?
Glasscocks.
Can you order them online or?
Yes, if you want.
I've never met a clock.
Really?
Certainly not.
Oh, there's a street near my house. Glasscock Street.
A lot of glass clocks near your house.
Well, it's a dodgy area, but yes.
Gee whiz.
It's a name. I can say that.
Anna in Melbourne, you ever heard that last name? That's wild to me.
Never.
Yeah,
Never
I know.
heard that.
Yeah.
Well, what have you got? Worst last name?
It's my sister's last name. It's Castricum, but her first name is Krishna, so she's Krishna Castricum.
Yeah, that does sound good.
And I've got to hope she's not listening or any of her kids.
Too late.
Anna's just called us out on the radio to get in the draw for Nova's first class and 50K. Rochelle in Brizzy, worst last name?
Hello. It was Ball Stack.
No, it wasn't. It was Ballstack.
It was. The teacher. No, not Ball Stack. Ball Stack.
But
Ball
it's
Stack.
so close.
So your teacher was called Mr. Ballstack.
Mr. Ball Stack. Yeah.
I wouldn't hire him. I wouldn't hire him as a teacher. I'm sorry, maybe a lovely guy, but I'm just like, we don't need that near our school. Mr. Ballstack.
I couldn't focus in class.
That would light up the classroom.
Miss Glasscock and Mr. Ballsack.
Ballstack.
All right, guys. Now let's keep it sensible. Obviously, we know Miss Booth is off sick this week, so we have our substitute teacher. Would like you to all meet Mr. Ballsack. Oh, okay, guys, grow up. You're year fives, all right? Grow up. Have some respect. Have some decorum for Mr. Ballstack. Kieran, what do you got?
I've got a good one for you. It's my own last name.
Yeah.
It's Feck. It's spelled F-E-C-K.
Whoa!
Feck.
Kieran Feck.
That's it, mate. The one and only.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Can I ask the origin of Feck?
Yeah, German apparently from my granddad's parents.
My family background's Irish, and they say feck.
Yes,
a lot. That's sort of the way they say it.
Kieran, do you have a Kiwi accent, Kieran?
Sure do, yeah.
Yeah, so when you say feck, it does sound
sounds it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Charlotte in Brizzy, worst last name?
I had a placement supervisor, and his name was Wanker.
You're kidding me. His actual name, his actual last name.
Spelt Wanker?
It was spelt like that and everything.
It wasn't like Wayne and then like Kerr. It was just Wanker.
Yeah, W-A-N-K-A.
You're just changing that, right? Like, why not change that?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mr. Wanker.
Him and Ballstack should get together.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Glasscock.
Shaz in Melbourne. Let's just keep this rolling. Worst last name?
Well, it's actually a combination of mine and my husband. So my name's Darren, but I grew up in a bogan town, so everyone calls me Shaz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And his last name's Doggrass, D-O-G-R-A, and everyone calls him Dogs. And I refused to take his last name because I didn't want to be called Shaz Dog.
That's a cool name.
It's very Australian.
Good Instagram handle as well. Jody, is this you or someone else? Last name?
Someone else. I'm in the delivery field, and I always used to deliver to a lady, and her surname was Longbottom.
like Neville.
Like Neville from Harry Potter.
His parents were killed, though, by Bellatrix Lestrange, obviously, in the early 90s.
Liam flexes his Harry Potter knowledge. Mel in Sydney, good evening. Worst last names?
Hi, so my dad was a high school teacher, and he had a colleague whose name was Mr. Stiff.
Wow.
Mm.
They're funny when they're like dong ones.
Yeah, especially when they're teachers.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny when you're in the classroom and you imagine them calling Mr. Stiff.
Mr. Stiff.
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.